In my hand, I have a list of all the top 10 Wonderkids in 5 years' time in Football Manager, as well as their asking price at the start of the game. Today I'm going to share that with you. Hello and welcome back to FMSCOUT. My name is Rhys, and coming up in today's video, I'm going to be going into the future, 5 years time into the future to be exact, finding out who the best players are, essentially the best young players from 5 years ago, and then going back to the past to see how much they're going to cost me to buy in the past before going back to the future. If that's something you do like the sound of, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you are new. We do loads of these videos over on my channel actually as well. If you want to subscribe to that, the link's in the video description. Let's start off with looking at the players 5 years into the future. So number one on our list is Giovanni Rayner. At the start of the game, he'll cost you 40 million quid, okay? But look at his stats here 5 years on in this particular save. Look at all those physicals: 16 acceleration, agility 17, balance 17. He's quite a physical kind of guy, right? Dribbling 17, first touch 16, passing, vision. Come off it, Gio. Come off it. You're insane. You can see here he likes to play in the centre of the pitch really, but he can play on the left wing as well. And he's good with both feet, right? Fairly strong with his left foot and very strong with his right. World class. But it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Josefa Makuku, okay? We know him from the update last year in Football Manager 2021, and he hasn't got any worse here in Football Manager 2022. He's insane, right? And when you talk about asking prices, stick around because I'll let you know once we've talked about his attributes. Dribbling, finishing, and first touch, that is what I call the holy trinity, okay? If you're an attacking player and if you've got those three stats, you're onto something. You're onto something major. But if you add that with acceleration, agility, pace, as well as stats like flair, composure, and anticipation, and with technique of 18, you've got yourself an absolute superstar here. He's left-footed and a spirited individual, and he likes to play his football right at the top of the pitch. You can see here he wants to be a striker, and why wouldn't he? He's 6 foot tall, not very good at heading, probably his only weakness in terms of being a striker. But if you wanted to maybe train him on the inside forward right position, I think that's where I would have him personally. Yeah, I think that's where I would have him. Like, he's worth 125 million to 148 million here in 2026. At the start of the game, 33 million you can pick him up for. That's what I managed to pick him up for when I went back to the past. That's a hell of a deal, right? Next up, Marieba. I cannot pronounce his first name, so I'm not going to try it. I don't even know what letters they are. Is that an I and an L? I'm just not sure. He's a German, right-footed, fairly determined, world-class midfielder, a centre midfielder, and with that he brings passing, vision, technique, natural fitness, pace, stamina, agility, balance, and first touch to the table. Likes to play his football down the centre of the pitch, a midfield centre more often than not. Good with both feet as well, fairly strong with his left, very strong with his right. And here in 2026, he's valued at around 152 to 179 million. At the start of the game, Marieba will cost you 50 million. So you've more than like trebled your money there in player if that's someone who you can afford at the start of the game. Really good player, highly recommended. Next up, Pedri, valued at 146 to 164 million here in 2026. He has developed pretty well, but we know at the start of the game he's very good as is, you know. Agility, composure, anticipation, flair. He's still only 23. First touch of 19. How's about that? Pedri is a centre midfielder, an attacking midfielder, a winger. He'll play wherever you want him to play. He's right-footed, but is also reasonable with his left foot as well. Now, Pedri at the start of the game will cost you about 100 million quid, right? But maybe something happens, maybe he gets put on the transfer list, or some remarkable circumstances come about and you can get yourself a cheeky Pedri. Definitely go for it. Get those little Football Manager pokeballs out, throw one at him, and make sure you catch him. Next up, Jude Bellingham, and I'll start off straight away by saying another £100 million player at the start of the game, okay? But we'll show you his attributes because they're absolutely insane. Look at his mentals. 16, 16, 16, 17, 15, 16, 18, 14, 16, 17, 13, 15, 16, 16. What a guy. About him, centre midfielder, still playing for Borussia Dortmund, so it'd be interesting to check in on his history and see how he's fared over those years. So 34 appearances in 2021-22, scoring 5 goals and with 10 assists. Then the next season he has 12 goals and 11 assists, very similar to the season after, 11 and 10, then 13 and 6. And then it drops down quite a lot in 2025 where he only has 5 goals with 9 assists. But if you see his average rating, it never drops below 7.2, which he actually has in the first season, 2021-22. Next up, Josco Govardial. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong, Josco, but you're a good player. Look at you. Look at those attributes. Really good. Josco, at the start of the game, he costs you about 60 million, right? So it's expensive, but look what you get for the money. Josco at the moment here is valued at upwards of 150 million. So again, trebling your money in about 5 years. Tackling, passing, long throws as well, which I've heard can be a little bit overpowered in the game at the moment. Heading, he'd be good at centre-back, this guy. He'd be an absolute colossal centre-back. He is a centre-back. I was thinking maybe he'd be a midfielder. Strength, stamina, pace, natural fit. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, centre-back, left-back as well. Natural at both. That's interesting because he's quick, so he'd be good at left-back, to be honest. And he's not terrible technically, so that is definitely an interesting one. Croatian player, 6'1", very strong left foot and a reasonable right foot as well. The guy's an absolute hero. Look at that attribute graph. That's insane. That's like world class. 50 million at the start of the game. I'd buy him. I'd buy him straight away. Anzu Fatty next, then we spoke about him a few times on the channel already. This is what he looks like in 5 years' time in this particular save. Fast, agile, balanced, flairful. Is that weird? Composure, anticipation, finishing, dribbling, and technique. Guess how much you can pick him up for at the start of the game? 55 million. That is an absolute steal, right? For someone who can play anywhere across the front 3 positions, as well as the slightly more defensive midfield right and midfield left position. We know he's reasonable with his left foot and very strong on his right foot as well. In this save here, he would be an A+ signing for I believe it's a Manchester United side. 281 career appearances already, relishes big matches, which is a very good scout report attribute to have. Spirited individual, natural in several positions. The list of pros just goes on and on and on. Bakayoko Saka next, and he's going to be expensive at the start of the game. We couldn't get him for any cheaper than £100 million, but he's in the top 10 here in 5 years' time, so we'll bring him to you anyways. Acceleration, agility, natural fitness, flair, dribbling. Hasn't developed an awful lot in this save, I would say, but don't forget, guys, different saves are different, and players can develop differently because of all sorts of variables, right? But nonetheless, Saka is still a great player, extremely versatile and able to play all the way down the left side of the pitch, as well as pretty much anywhere on the right side as well. Hasn't got a right foot, but he's very good with his left foot. Alfonso Davis next then, and look at these stats. Look how fast this guy is, right? Probably the best left back in the world here 5 years on in 2026. Acceleration 19 and pace of 18, right? Flair of 16, determination of 17, and dribbling of 17. Guess how much this guy's going to cost you at the start of the game? I think it's a really good deal. 45 million quid. It's very natural in the left back position. You can see that, as well as wing back as well. You can also play attacking midfield right, which ain't too bad because you can see he's got that attacking skill in terms of dribbling and everything. When we delve deeper into his positions, we can see he's reasonable with his right foot as well. My scout isn't telling me anything I don't already know. He's got explosive pace and his acceleration underpins his overall speed. But look at this. He is a consistent performer as well, which I think is always a huge green flag when signing players. Jeremy Doku next then, and I've got his asking price here, which I'll give you after we talked about his attributes, because look at this. Explosive pace again here on the list today. Pace 17, natural fitness 17, agility 17, and acceleration 19, flair 17, technique 17, and dribbling 16. I read out the attributes just in case anyone's listening on the old podcast, you know. He loves it on the left wing, can play centrally as well. He's described as an elite winger here by the media. Delving into his positions, we can see he's reasonable with his left foot as well as very strong, obviously, with his right. Similar to Alfonso Davis, my scout is telling me that his explosive pace and acceleration underpin his overall speed. He's also made 241 career league appearances already, and he likes to take a shot. Look at this, 30 shots, 15th in World Cup European qualifying section with 4 goals. He enjoys big matches and shows a fairly ambitious nature. Here he's valued at 110 million to 134 million, but at the start of the game you can pick him up for 50 million pounds. There's my list. Thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it, honestly. Please hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe if you are new. All the players are here to my left. If you would like to take a screenshot or pause the video or come back, type them into your search bar. My name is Rhys. I got my own channel. It's called FM Wonderkids. That is linked in the video description. I'll also pop it up here if you want to go and check that out. We do videos exactly like this across all the positions all the way through the season. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again.